from the world of other young things. Reach out, up, under.
The printing press for freedom at a time when freedom is needed the most. Join me at Revolution Radio, Studio B, at 11 a.m. on Saturday for Free Association, when we take a look at philosophy, spirituality, psychology, social issues, and geopolitics. It's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Studio B at freedomslips.com.
What is going on here? I demand an explanation.
We work for a highly funded yet unofficial government agency.
An intelligence organization that fears intelligence, historically not awesome.
The United States is a democratic nation. Here the people rule. We build no walls to keep them in, nor organize any system of police to keep them mute.
Freedom isn't free at all, but it comes with the highest of costs.
We have you, the listeners, and the hosts at
Revolution Radio
for allowing us to bring you a platform of free speech.
CPR Street Gang, this is Almighty. Standing by, over. CPR Street Gang, this is Almighty. Standing by, over.
Right now, it's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, watch for now.
Wind is blowing cold and dark. On the road and no way out. Broken hearts, a smoking gun. On the run. On the run.
It's what I like to call greenhouse music. You know, because it's house, and you're in the greenhouse. It's the Polynation broadcast. Some greenhouse music. We're gonna get creative today. It's the Polynation broadcast, Ground Zero Plus. We're gonna get real creative today, possibly even the return of the golden ticket winner for guests on the Polynation broadcast. There's only one so far, but she has the golden ticket and she's coming back, hopefully, if the stars align, which is really hard to do when you're on opposite sides of the planet. My name's Polly. Welcome to the greenhouse. It's the Polynation broadcast, Ground Zero Plus. Got some news, but we're gonna get creative mostly. Be right back. Got way more tunes to get through, and still trying to connect the dots between me and my hopefully guest for this show. We're live every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, that is. If you don't know, now you know. And if you know someone who doesn't know, allow them to know. Suggest that they research. The Polynation broadcast is live on the air. Be right back. I heard this song is the song that a lot of robots like to listen to while they're at work. It's by Rival Consoles. So, wow, what a week, eh? I mean, so many things I could talk about. If only any of it was good, then I probably would talk about it. We'll leave that to all the other podcasts and all the other shows. We're not going to talk about... Well, maybe we'll mention it here and there if we can make fun of it. And this ties into the theme of today's show, which is all about creativity and how you can turn anything into anything you want. And I would like to start today's show with some wise words from maybe not so much of a wise man, but nevertheless a huge influence on my life and probably a lot of your lives as well. And if you don't recognize his voice right away, I'll just tell you. It's Tommy Chong. And he has a very interesting perspective on art. And at the root of all art is, guess what? Creativity. And that's what I'm going to spend the entire show talking about today. How to get creative. How to turn this shit show of a world into something entertaining and funny. And maybe beneficial. And maybe help us move past the petty... I'll get to the 7 Ps later in the show because I think I need to work out a joke here. But anyways, let's start off with Tommy Chong expressing his opinions on, and you know what, I agree, how art could possibly save the world after it goes tits up. Art could probably save the world. So here it is. Check it out. This is Tommy Chong. I think it's on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I'm not going to play the whole clip. I just want to just listen to what he has to say. It's really cool.
I slept last night, but I had a couple of epiphanies.
Yeah?
That just blew my mind.
Like what?
How art is going to save the world.
Art is going to save the world?
Yeah.
How's that?
Well, you look at history.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pyramids. That was art. That was an art piece. And what happens when you have big, huge art pieces like that, you create employment. And it's not war. So you're not fighting. You're creating. And so the people that care for the animals, the people that have to feed the mass of people that have to work on getting those rocks, carving those rocks, everything else, it creates employment. And it also creates tourism. And so you when you have a piece of art, everybody wants to come and look at it. And so that's what we need in the world today, you see. And we not only need art, but we need functional art, because that's what the pyramids were. They were functional, and a lot of people think it was the astronauts.
You mean the aliens?
The aliens, yeah. which could very well be.
You really think so?
Oh, sure, for sure.
Why do you think that?
Marks, this.
Well, because there's nothing new in the universe. You know, we've had space flights, we've had all that stuff forever.
But you have Chong's Choice cooler pipe.
Yeah,
That genius pipe, that's new in the universe.
That's no, it's probably rehashed.
Probably somewhere in the
I like that,
world or
rehash.
somewhere in the universe. Yeah.
Somewhere
in the universe.
Oh, you talk about. You want to talk about pot? To Chinese, Indian,
Sure.
All religion.
But what makes you think that aliens built the pyramids, though?
Well, I'm saying they could have been.
Really?
I think aliens are just humans, that. Because if they're wearing spacesuits, if they're aliens, why do they need a spacesuit unless they come from another atmosphere? I cannabis, the great thing about cannabis for me, it gives me crazy ideas of how to help the planet. My whole thing for the last few years have been, how can we improve the planet, that we live in? I remember talking to Timothy Leary years ago, and he got kind of mad at me because he had a theory that we should, or a plan that we should get on a spaceship and go find another Earth, And I told Tim, we're on a spaceship already. Earth is going through space at a speed of 1,036 miles an hour. And so we're already on a spaceship. And it's the only spaceship that we're ever going to be on in our lifetime. And so, like any ship, you got to keep it ship shape. You got to keep it clean in order for it to function, in order for you to have a healthy ride while you're here. And so we have to, at least my focus is really on how to help the planet. And cannabis has given me these crazy ideas that seem to work.
Autumn Fog Lifts by Milieu, the Polynation broadcast. We're getting creative today. These guys sound exactly like another band that I have to be a huge fan of, and I'll play them next. But maybe a good time... No, that's not it. Don't worry, that's not it. You'll hear the similarity. But what I wanted... I just wanted to pause and let you guys know, because it's been a crazy week for me. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. Okay. If I ever sound like I don't know what day it is, because I work nights, so there's that. Anyways, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before for some people. And then also there's the time zone thing. Anyways, I went on the Enigma Hour with Olav and Dave and Rachel. And I had no idea what to expect. But they ended up wanting to talk about the digital machine elves that people see under influence of DMT. And I've never done DMT, but we love psychedelics. So it was like right in my wheelhouse. Such a fun show. Those people are so fun to talk to. And I hope to get to go back on that. Unfortunately, embarrassingly as well, I don't know where to go and listen to it, but that's only because I haven't reached out to the people I know I can and ask. So maybe I'll do that during the show, but don't hold me to that, because I'll likely forget. Because a lot of times, if you're too creative, you can forget things, and that's gonna bring me to I still haven't seen whether or not if my guest is awake yet. It's very early in the morning, and it's also tomorrow. So we'll wait and see. And I clearly have other things that I would like to share with you. But I just thought I would stop, let you know that that's what happened. That was fun. I really liked it. The Enigma Hour, you can probably find it somehow. I mean, AI is pretty smart enough to find it. That's how I did the research on it. So they found it. You can find it, and there's probably an archive or something. Anyways, really fun show, and just it seems like those group of people over there are like on the same page as kind of all of us here in the greenhouse too. So go check it out if you want. So that last song I just said sounds exactly like another band that I really love, who I've actually seen live, called Tycho. Here's Sunrise Projector. We're kind of stalling a little bit here, creatively stalling, until the secret guest arrives. So here's Tycho, Sunrise Projector, the Polynation Broadcast. It's Ground Zero Plus, Independent Broadcast Network. Live every weekend, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Since we cannot escape nature, we attempt to placate it. Modern civilization stems from the simple act of placing seeds and plants into the ground. Houses and fields are be volunteers, good citizens, conscious of
The song is called Don't Talking by Bryce Hayashi. I feel like there might be a translation algorithmic problem there. Very creative music. Wouldn't you agree? We're talking about creativity. I promise I'm not rhyming on purpose. So I'm going to try not to now, and that's going to screw me up. Damn. See how I do that? This is I'm trying to be anti-creative during a creative broadcast. So I have this idea. And it relates to one of the areas of creativity, and that's creative thinking. Because creative thinking requires you to suspend what you know and maybe just kind of mess around with it a little bit. See what can happen. Do what are called thought experiments. I love thought experiments. Creative thinking is required for a thought experiment, which is why a lot of times when you try to do a thought experiment with someone who can't think, it turns into a disaster, and then they call you some kind of a kook or a crazy conspiracy theorist or a occultist or wizard or witch. You should be burned at the stake, destroyed. Anyways, I want to give you an example of creative thinking. At least an insight into how I do creative thinking. So, we have this climate change problem, right? Right. Everybody knows it. We're not going to get into the semantics of whether or not that's real. We're just going to say it exists, this climate change thing. It exists, whether it's real or not. It's there. It's out there. It's in the zeitgeist. Okay, it's there. We also have people that think we're going into an ice age. So we got that, right? Just picture like a bulletin board. I'm just putting pins in the board, okay? And I'm like that crazy guy in the basement that puts the strings between the pins on the cork board. So we got climate change. We got the Ice Age people. Climate change people, put a red piece of thread from there to the Ice Age people. And then we've got the people that are trying to dim the sun, like Bill Gates or, those people in Britain. They're doing it now. They've been doing it for decades. We got that. So there's another pin in the cork board, and same color thread, red one. Red thread means alarm. Creative alarm. Okay, so now we have climate change, we have dimming the sun, and we have the Ice Age people. So I'm taking those three things. Hopefully this is being creative. At least it seems like it is to me. And I think here's my creative thought experiment conclusion to why all these three things exist. And there's other pieces that we could tie in here, but it would just take too long to explain. And I could do a whole show on this, and there'd be just like pins all over the cork board. You know what I'm saying? With blue threads, green ones, but mostly red and some yellow. Anyways, what if this is creative thinking? What if they're trying to speed up the Ice Age? Oh wait, there's one, because there's another group of people I forgot to mention. It'll make more sense once I mention this group of people who think that the Earth's pole is going to flip, and that is going to cause, and the Earth's pole is going to flip, but that's going to cause crustal displacement. And that is going to do to the oceans what you would do to a glass of water if you were holding it in a car and it slammed on the brakes. That's what's going to happen to the oceans. A lot of people think that there's a connection to that theory and the flood stories that are everywhere. So there's another pin in the board. Red thread to that pin. So, okay. Now that I put those two pieces on the board, let's get back to this. They're trying to speed up the Ice Age. Why? Because if the Earth does do that and all the water is frozen, it's not going to destroy everything and we're not all going to drown. Would they tell us this? Probably not. Am I right? Probably not. Am I wrong? There's a slight possibility I'm not wrong. It's less than 1%, but it's there. It's like the same possibility that they had when they blew up the first nuclear weapon and they thought it could cause a chain reaction that would actually just light the whole Earth's atmosphere on fire. It was less than 1%, but they did it anyways. So that's one example of creative thinking. You could take anything that you're afraid of or that you think that the powers that be are doing to you, whether it's with or without your knowledge, and you can creatively think about it in a different way. And that's not only fun, but I think it's a very good mental exercise to sustain your sanity in this place. Because what's going on? I mean, it's absolutely nuts. I'm still not going to talk about it, but what we're going to talk about next is the use of AI and creativity. And a lot of people, there's this video going around. I don't know if you've seen it. It's kind of like I think it's like around 3 minutes long or something. Anyways, there's all these people in this video, and they're saying these things, and it's subtitled. And at the end, it's like none of these people in this video were real, and that we're at the end times, and the whole like there's going to be too much deception. Nobody's going to know what's real and we're close to that. But I think It's not there yet, and when we come back, I'm gonna tell you how you can spot it, because I can still see it, and not only can I still see it, but the way AI writes words is identifiable to me. And I think once I wrap my head around how it is I'm able to know that, I should be able to teach other people. It should be easy. Once I figure out a way to explain it, it's going to be easy for people to spot. But for that video specifically, there are things in that video that I spotted immediately. And it's not in the person being shown. It's in what you're not looking at. And I'll explain that when we come back. But for now, I figured this might be an appropriate tune. It's called Unknown by... I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It's called Unknown. If you have Shazam and you really love this tune, then I suggest you do that. I do my best, but I only speak one language, and I sometimes just can't read them. I feel like I'd be doing it injustice if I read it wrong. Let's put it that way. This is the Polynation Broadcast, and we're live every weekend from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Ground Zero plus IBN. Excuse me, I have a question for you. Do you think robots will ever make their own music because they want to listen to it? Like, why would a robot want to listen to music? But what if there are robots that work better when they're listening to music? Kind of like me. In a sense, when I'm at work, I function like a robot, but I definitely work better when music is being played. I wonder if music can actually make a robot work better. If anybody out there who builds robots knows what I'm talking about, get on this. Because that, like, a heavy metal robot would get shit done. You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be a good idea. See, another example of creative thinking. I used to call it lateral thinking, but that just means 180 degrees opposite of vertical thinking. it would be better to have a broader circumference. And so creative thinking it is. So I was going to tell you how to spot AI. Well, this is how I spot it so far. And the movie or the clip that I was talking about earlier, you can easily see it in that. It's a great example. But now that you know what to look for, you'll be able to go and look at a lot of other videos and you'll see it's not what you're supposed to look at that's not where the flaws are. It's the background. Watch the background. It's always blurry, which is, it's not an easy thing to do, if you have a really good camera, you can shoot that way on purpose and have the original source material be blurry in the background, but usually that happens in post. It's easier to do it in post, like by magnitudes of order. Just blur the background. But if you pay attention to the background, you'll see things that don't belong there, or that don't move properly, or shadows that don't move correctly. There's things you can look at. It used to be like you could pick out like an extra finger on somebody, or like something weird in a photograph, but it was always on the subject matter. Because you were analyzing the subject matter, not the background. But as I guess you could call myself a photographer, I know how to look at images with a compositional mindset, and so I do look at the background, because many times a really well-trained photographer will use the background knowing full well that you're only subconsciously going to look at it. And so AI is doing the same thing with these image generations, with these movies, and I mess around with all this stuff because I love messing around with it. I think it's great that I can prompt something to make me a 30-second video based off a text. Like, I would have never have dreamed that. I used to always get jealous of people who could draw better than me and like animate and do all the Photoshop stuff like so quickly. It would take me forever to do that on Photoshop. You can do it now with just a simple text. That increases creativity for me. It's like it's a game changer. Like on a level, as a creative person, it's a game changer on a level that I don't think there's anyone anywhere who could have predicted it. But that's just my opinion. So I'm still sort of, I don't know if I've given up yet, but there may be a possibility that there was a miscommunication between me and my guest, and so it may happen tomorrow. But I'm not giving up yet, and we still have lots of time, almost 2 hours, and still lots of things to talk about. I mean, so far we've been talking about creative thinking, but we could talk about ideas, and how do ideas use creativity, or do you need a level of creativity to have ideas? I'm not sure what the answer to that is. Maybe y'all in the greenhouse. Yes, I'm allowed to say y'all as a Canadian, so whoever gets upset about that, you know what? Get lost. It happens by accident sometimes, okay? In the greenhouse, what do you guys think came? It's like the chicken or the egg, right? What comes first, the idea or the creativity? I think you need a level of creativity to be able to present an idea that no one's considered. That's all I can say for now about that. But what do you guys think in the greenhouse? GroundZeroPlus.com. If you become a member and you go to the member content tab, it's a drop-down menu, click on the chat rooms, you'll find yourself in the greenhouse. It's what I call the chat room for every broadcast here on GroundZeroPlus.com. And quite often, we get a banter going in here. And I feel like the chat room, and I'm trying to make this happen. The chat room is a huge part of the show, and I want to make it an even more huge part of the show. I want to grow the chat room. It's like the communal fountain of creativity in the center of the greenhouse. Somebody put that into a image generation. The communal fountain of questions and knowledge at the center of the greenhouse. That's the chat room here at Ground Zero Plus. And we can talk about anything. But for today, we're just being creative, which basically means we can talk about anything we want. And we can also listen to anything we want. It's kind of a more of an electronic vibe today, I would say. But that's just to keep everybody's spirits up and energized. And we don't want anybody falling asleep in the greenhouse when we're talking about stuff like this. I mean, it's not serious. Like, it's not like end of the world, huge super volcano, Mount Etna. It's serious. It's not like that serious. Even if you watch those Etna videos, there's a dude standing there filming it. And I'm like, if I'm that guy filming that, I'm thinking it's probably time to leave. But he just stands there. And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe, all the people that I'm filming running away would give you a clue. Maybe this isn't being very creative, but I would leave at this point. And then they all leave. But it was an astonishingly long delay of common sense. And I want to see if I can somehow tie in common sense with creative people. Because I think there may be an origin of common sense in, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe there's an origin in creativity with people that have common sense. That's two things we need to investigate now. So what do you guys think in the greenhouse about those? I know, it's heavy, and I was supposed to have a guest here to talk about these things. She might still be sleeping. So we'll just ask the greenhouse instead. No worries. So while you think about that, here's Gentle Gaze by Elka on the Polynation Broadcast. GroundZeroPlus.com. One of the most important components of creativity is the ability to play. Don't forget how to play, folks. Just for the record, I want to put out there that I am pro-creation. Whatever you can make it happen. Polynation broadcast. So what did come first? The creative person who thought of it, or the idea itself? There are some people out there who think that a measure of intelligence is how creative somebody is. And every argument I've tried to come up with that has probably been from a perspective of an attempted programming into the DEI, whatever you want to call that. It just didn't work on me. I think there are some people out there that are capable of thinking of ideas because their intelligence allows the creativity. So creative people tend to be intelligent, but they're not always like street smart. I'm not saying like, and most artistic creative people are horrible with money. Absolutely atrocious. Look at what happened to Nikola Tesla. Did he die with any money? No. His pigeon didn't even get anything. Does anyone think Bert from Sesame Street may have been based off of Nikola Tesla? Because he had pigeons. Anyways. So, does the idea make the person more creative? Or does the person make the idea more creative? I still don't know. I think there's a relationship there. Like, kind of like being chosen by an idea. And it dances with your mentality. Like a tango. Or maybe even a bossa nova. Whatever tickles your fancy. Whatever makes you put your dancing shoes on. Who cares? Doesn't matter. The point is, does one come first or do both have to exist? I would say it's a symbiotic. Most ideas can be brought down to a core, and most creations can be brought down to a core. And I think if we compare those cores, they're going to be very complementary. And then there are other ideas that I have about creativity, because I often look at plants, mushrooms, animals, and I notice what I would consider creative solutions. But when I think about those creative solutions, I always ask, what made the solution possible in the, like, how do I want to word this? How would there be a need for a creation for that solution in the first place if it wasn't for something else that's more creative? I guess that's the best I can do right now for that question. It's like, it's a question that I'm not creative enough to verbalize. But there's this problem or something that doesn't reconcile between creativity, where it comes from, how it influences the ideas, or do the ideas influence it? And I think ideas and creativity must have the same origin. I think they're born in the same place. And I guess what I want to ask is it born within us, or is it born without us, and we can either, I think we're all born to receive this information, but maybe some people are better at it, better than others to receive it, because as soon as we're born, we're just plastered with all these filters to not receive it, to not be creative, to just regurgitate what, I'm not saying 2 + 2 is 5 here, folks. What I'm saying is, I think every human that's born and everything in nature that's created has to have a level of creativity inherently in it, or it won't bother making anything, including itself, over again. Like why we have kids, or why plants make seeds, or why ducks lay eggs. Get what I'm saying? So I don't think we're going to be able to solve this question on the show today, but I don't know. I like thinking about stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of things that other people talk about in the greenhouse here that kind of line up with that. And it's just fun to talk about. It's a creative thought experiment. It's like painting with your thoughts. And it's so fun to do with people that have like minds, which is why I'm so grateful that you guys are all here. So this, even though the guest hasn't, I'm not going to name the guest yet, because maybe they just think it's tomorrow. So she's still not awake. But anybody who's listening, who's been listening for a long time, knows there's only been one golden ticket winner for guests. It's kind of a silly homage to Kill Tony. I plan on having more golden ticket winners as guests. People that can come back whenever they want and talk about whatever they want. There are people I know out there already in the community that are definitely in the line for getting golden tickets. So there'll be more of those, and they'll be kind of like, I don't know, not like necessarily like regular, like once a week or anything like that, but like whenever they want. Like, if it sometimes might take them a couple months to think of something, like, hey, I gotta go talk to Polly about this, and that's when they'll come on. So it'll be up to them, which is what I like about those golden tickets. I don't have to do any more administrative stuff, whatever that means. So, okay. I have so much music that I haven't played yet. Let's get back into some more tunes. And when we come back, I want to talk about creative healing. And I want to talk about music and how it relates to creativity. Does the music drive the creativity? Or does the creativity drive the music? Or is it, again, one of those chicken before the egg things, the positive feedback loops? Who knows? I'm going to think about it while we listen to this. This is You Are My Starship by Chris Bangs on the Polynation Broadcast. Ground Zero Plus. IBM, man. I want to send this tune out to Hippie Dave from the Enigma Hour. I just have a feeling he'd dig this tune.
I am willing to consider that the moon has been geoengineered by a civilization with a technology advanced enough that they would be able to.
Do you think Atlantis geoengineered it?
It's very speculative, but now we get into the question of could there have been a civilization in the remote past that had technologies that we currently don't know about? And I think the answer is yes, that is a plausible hypothesis that is not warranted by just summarily dismissing.
How would they have geoengineered the moon?
Well, if you look at the schemes for building lunar bases, have you ever looked at any of NASA's ideas for building lunar bases?
No.
Basically, the main problem with building a colony on the moon is cosmic radiation. So how do you solve the problem of cosmic radiation to which you are going to be subject on the surface of the moon?
You need some protective shielding, maybe a magnetic protective
You could, which means you're thinking immediately something like one of the schemes is, and if I can find it here, I'll pull it up, one of the schemes is a dome-like structure.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, you could do that. Or, what would be another possibility? Go underground.
Oh, so there you go. So it could be this hollow structure. Interesting.
Hollow is an oversimplification.
Okay.
Visions by the Luna Lounge. Yeah, you guys have heard the Luna Lounge before. I play them all the time. I love the Luna Lounge. And there's a clue as to somebody who's still sleeping. She's lounging. Or maybe she thought it was tomorrow. Doesn't matter. There was one thing mentioned in the greenhouse that I feel like I need to address here. Sonny was asking in the greenhouse over here at groundzeroplus.com. If you don't know, I'm about to know ya. All you have to do is become a member. It's very reasonable. It's literally like 33.333 forever cents a day. Forever. Once you sign up, that's it. Forever. 33 cents a day. But think about how much... No, I'm kidding. You can cancel anytime if you don't like it. But you will. If you're listening now and you sign up because of this show, you'll like everything else here, I promise. Anyways, 33 cents a day. And there's plans. So, groundzeroplus.com. Do that. You'll find the greenhouse. Get in here. Sonny is one of those dudes. And he mentioned something. And now I'm going to have to go up and just want to make sure I don't misquote. Oh, yeah, okay. It doesn't really matter. I don't have to misquote. But the last week, if you were listening last week, I mentioned there was going to be this experiment or pilot show that we would do on Sunday, which is tomorrow. For all you people that don't pay attention to what day it is. The next time the sun comes up, that's when we would be doing this show. But I decided not to. I prayed. And I thought, and I meditated, and the answer I got was a song, and oh my goodness, I forgot I was supposed to have this song lined up, but it's okay, because I can find it really quickly and still talk about it at the same time. And that is the answer to my prayers and meditations about what I should be doing in regards to the show. I haven't been around here very long. It's been a really wild ride for me, if you could say, and that would be an understatement. And so, for me to just jump on the scene and start suggesting ideas for shows with people that I've had limited contact with, it just doesn't seem like an appropriate thing to do for where I'm at, because I'm still building the greenhouse. I mean, yeah, we're all here talking in the greenhouse. I get it. And so far, I think we've built a solid foundation, and I don't want to mess with that. And if I'm going to commit to somebody else's show, that's going to take time away from what I already don't think I'm putting enough time into because of my work situation. Like, I know for 100% fact that if this was the only thing that I had to do to make my living, that the Polynation broadcast would be probably, I don't know how many magnitudes of order better than it is now. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself, but what you need to realize is that I put high standards on what I can achieve, because I know I can achieve stuff. I've achieved stuff already. I know I can do stuff, but it requires a level of intensity, attention, and commitment and loyalty. And I'm just simply not. I feel like Tally would have a good show. She doesn't need me. And if it was going to be reliant on me being a co-host, it would be detrimental to her endeavors at this point. Just because I haven't fully built, I'm still having ideas every day about what things I could possibly do on the show. People that I want to have on. I want to have more guests on. I want to have more golden ticket winners. I want to have regulars, not every show, but sometimes I listen to podcasts where it's like, oh, I know someone's going to come on that's been on before. It was a good episode last time. I'm totally going to listen to that one. I want to have those episodes. And I'm even open to having Tally on the show just to chat about what it doesn't even matter what. But as far as being part of a pilot for a new show on a network that I'm literally the youngest person here on the network, and I don't mean by age, I mean by experience, I feel like I'd be overstepping boundaries. And so, as a result of those feelings, I have decided to not do that. And so, tomorrow's show, if my guest doesn't show up today, which it's looking like she's not going to, it might be tomorrow. But if not tomorrow, it'll be next week. And whatever. It doesn't matter. We're so close. We've known each other for so long that these things happen all the time. And it never matters. So that's the good thing. More guests on the show would be great. But I just don't think it's a good idea. I think that it'd be almost like shooting myself in the foot, even though I'm already walking in circles. If that makes it. I hope I didn't offend anybody, but I really don't care because nothing happens. Here's more music on the Polynation broadcast. This is the song that answered my prayers. And I took its advice, and that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, I think it's good advice, and it's kind of cool that I was really a huge fan of this song before I even believed in anything like the creator being able to communicate with me individually. But here it is, The Tourist by Radiohead on the Polynation broadcast. Let's slow down for a second.
The box
And so that was the song that answered my prayers on what I should do. I've been thrown into this... well, not really. I've kind of been dropped into this forest. Granted, I had a greenhouse, so that's good. And it's protected me from a lot of things. But it's also given me some insight and some creative thinking. And one of the best ways of creative communication is music, in my opinion. I can sometimes create, or communicate, I should say. I can create music too, but most of the time, when I communicate, my words, they're sufficient. But sometimes, there's things I can't communicate, but if I play a song for you, it does a better job. And there's some things that I've tried to communicate from myself that a song that I've, I guess, had to write has done a better job of communicating the idea or the message or the information. So what's going on there? How come sometimes people remember stuff if you put it in a song? And, like, you know how creative you have to be to, like, it's not like anybody can just make a song. You gotta be pretty creative, right? Like, it's, and you know what? Most songwriters will say, well, there is a level of skill, but as far as the creation goes, the song just comes out of me. I don't actually create it. So I don't, again, trying really hard not to answer any questions. Just make more. I mean, think about it. Making more questions is, I think, if you're just going to rest on a solution, then you don't need to be creative anymore, right? So questions, I think, maybe are the seeds of creation. I never considered that. Questions are the seeds of creation. So now let's think about that. What was God's question when he decided to create all of this? Here's Tears, Chaos in the CBD, Polynation Broadcast. Sorry to drop that one on you, but not.
They say you'll never be good enough for the wrong man. It's around midnight and you were supposed to call. Then you show up late with the scent of alcohol. The more I show you love, the less you give. You don't seem to appreciate all I do for you. You haven't been calling me, you haven't been touching me. All I did was stay true to you.
Polynation Broadcast. Trying to be as creative as possible here today. You're listening to Sleep Dreams by Surprise Chef. I'm not sure how to say his name. Like, is it Surprise Chef, or is it like Surprise Chef, or is it like Surprise Chef, like a disappointment surprise chef? Who knows? It's kind of a weird name for a band. But I play it all the time because I like, well, not that song, but I like the band because the name is Surprise Chef, and a lot of people are surprised when they find out that I'm a trained chef as well. So, I don't know, I kind of play those songs once in a while. Anyways, I wanted to stop and remind everybody listening who's not in the greenhouse that it's not too late. You can come over, become a member within minutes, and at 4:20, which is in like 19 minutes, I'll stop the show again, and I will shout out everybody in the greenhouse and say hello and what's up, and then from there it's a bittersweet thing for me because I love talking to everybody, and I also know that means that the show is almost over. It's only 40 minutes left. And I have so much to say and play and decide and make people think about. Not forcibly, like I'm not thought raping. What I'm doing is suggesting that thoughts may be thought of that you didn't think you were allowed to think of, maybe, hopefully, or never considered. And guess what? You're allowed to think about whatever you want. So far. Until your kids are born with implants, you're still allowed to think about whatever you want. And that's the roots of creativity. It's thought. So come back in 18 minutes. Join up, groundzeroplus.com. Get in the greenhouse. Throw your 2 cents in or your 25 cents in. Doesn't matter. All thoughts are necessary and welcome. That's what I say. Here's Early in the Midnight by Asif Spectre and Brian J. Gitkin on the Polynation Broadcast. Get in the greenhouse, groundzeroplus.com. Become a member. Click on the chat room. That's the greenhouse. Don't tell anyone. I mean, tell everyone.
emotion for your sweet devotion. When you were alone, 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 when you were alone.
For now, don't focus. Just be. The song is called Don't Focus by New Per C. 3 minutes to the greenhouse shout out on the Polynation Broadcast, groundzeroplus.com. Become a member, get in the greenhouse. Be back after this tune. I'll shout you out. High fives, good vibes for all tribes, smiles for miles, you know, all that stuff.
Venimos todos del suelo, estamos hechos de fuego, atravesamos el viento para morir en el mar. Venimos todos del suelo, estamos hechos de fuego, atravesamos el viento para morir en el mar. Atravesamos el viento para morir en el mar. Atravesamos el viento para morir en el mar.
This is Nino Cojete. The song is called Humidal, which makes me think of humidor, which is ironically totally related to comments that were made in the greenhouse, which is what we're going to shout out right now. It's 4:20 Eastern time, and we do this every show. Stop it completely. Slam on the parking brake and crank the wheel, do a 360, slide into a parking space that shouts out the greenhouse without damaging any other vehicles. Like a skilled. Imagine we had a greenhouse that you could drive. Never mind. Okay, so here we go. groundzeroplus.com. If you become a member, what you do is you go to the members content, click on chat rooms, and that's where you're gonna find everybody that I'm about to shout out right now, because they're here. It's live, and we all just shoot the shit and banter and gift sling. And I'm telling you, there's some talented, very talented gift slingers. Yeah, exactly, Mitch. As I'm saying, gift slingers, the gifts start coming in. It's great. It's a great place to hang out. I strongly encourage anybody who's listening to the show and is not a member and in the greenhouse, I guarantee you won't be disappointed. You'll be like, I can't wait till next Saturday when I can go in the greenhouse, or then Sunday. I promise. And then if my promise, if you want to argue the promise, then well, you'll lose. I am very good at arguing, so that won't work. Once you're here, you're here. The door is always open. Everybody's welcome to leave. Come and go as they please. Say whatever they want. Here is everybody in the greenhouse today on the Polynation broadcast. Other than myself, we have Chris from the UK, the architect. And you know what? You could totally dress up as the architect from The Matrix for Halloween, dude. You could totally do that. You could pull that off. Rio's in here. Pretty sure he's AFK. Clyde is in here. Well, didn't expect to see you here, bud. But here you are. Greenhouse. We're going to have to make some room for Clyde in the greenhouse. Wow. Clyde's here. That's cool. Kind of wish I had known that. Maybe I would have made fun of you. Or something. Along those lines. You know, I'm just kidding. We got Mitch Durbin in here. Datsun Focus is in here. Sonny's in here. Barban E is in here. Miss B, my favorite B, is in here. Eric is in here. Lisa, high fives. I love Lisa. I've had the privilege of speaking with Lisa, and we will be talking again at some point. We're plant nerds. We're both plant nerds. And Dez is in here. Mike Mont. I knew we would see you eventually. My brother Mike. Brother Mike is in here. And we gotta talk. We gotta talk, Mike. We can do that over on Discord. We got Mad Catter is in here. Amber, one of the brightest lights in the greenhouse. And one of the most regular as well. Amber's such a bright light. My audiophile twin. She knows what song I'm going to play before I do sometimes. And then last but not least, certainly not least, and in the lineup, there's a huge lineup. Yeah, it goes around the forest, across the mountain, and over the river of people that want to get on the show. I'm just kidding. That's complete and utter bullshit. But there's a lineup of people that long that I want to get on the show, is what I should say. Not that they want to get on the show, that I want to get on the show. And Rich is, after conversations that I've had with Rich off the air, I feel like his story would be not only beneficial to people that listen to this show, but beneficial to people who haven't listened to it yet. And so, Rich Smith, thank you for being here. Brother Rich, Brother Mike, two of they're like big brothers to me. They've been here since the beginning, and it's good to see you both here, and everybody else here in the greenhouse. Because without the greenhouse, what am I gonna chat to, and where am I gonna grow my plants / ideas, and where am I gonna play around with my mycelium? Get your mind out of the gutter. Yeah, I'm not like that. Mycelium is not private, by the way. So if that's your angle, that's not going to work. Ew, what am I doing? Here's what I'm doing. It's called creative cognitive awareness. I think I'm inventing this term. Now, what is cognitive awareness? And why does it have to be creative? Well, I would say that the more creativity you have, and the more aware of your creativity that you are capable of wielding a cognitive awareness that is you can almost tell the future. It's not far in the future, but you can kind of predict what people are going to think when you say something, or you can kind of guess that maybe you shouldn't drive behind this person because it looks like they're going to slam on the brakes for no reason because they're on their phone. Like, it's hard to quantify into one specific thing. But cognitive awareness can be creative. And the less creative cognitive awareness is, it's almost as if creativity and awareness are quantumly entangled. People that aren't aware of things are sometimes not as creative. And it's not because, here's the paradox of this though, because there's some people who are completely unaware of some things, but they're the most incredible painters or the most incredible musicians, and they're just completely oblivious to everything else. Like, how does creativity know when to put the blinders on people? You know, like, imagine if Mozart didn't have blinders on. And this is, I guess, maybe a bad example because he did kind of have blinders on at one point. But imagine he was allowed to be as creative with all thoughts, not just the ones that were musically inclined, and to write symphonies, or Beethoven, or any of the, or Einstein, or Tesla, all extremely creative people, but all very much kind of funneled into this one area. I guess because of their dedication, or their devotion, or their curiosity was not as creative. If they were able to create some of these theories, and some of them turned out to be right, imagine what they could have done if they'd taken that same creative perspective / energy / talent and put it to basically whatever came across their path that day in nature. Imagine what they could do. There's another thing too, imagination and creativity. Does your imagine create your creativity, or is the fact that you're a creative person enable your imagination? We still haven't answered this. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? The creation or the idea? Even, the creation of everything. God's word created everything. Don't you have to have an idea before you have to have a word? Don't you have to have an idea, or before you have a creation? How do you know what to create unless you have an idea? And how do you come up with an idea if you're not creative? Do you see what I've done here? I've created a neutral feedback loop of questions that you will never be able to answer, no matter how creative you are. I don't think no one's ever going to be able to answer these questions. And in a way, coming up with questions that you can't answer is a measure of creativity. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Here's I Man by Youth on the Polynation broadcast. Put that shit in your pipe and smoke it. PPP. I'm going to spin one. You might as well do it too. And when we come back, we'll wrap this up. It's been a great show. Thanks everybody in the greenhouse again for, first of all, becoming a member. And second of all, throwing your time in here and spending it with me. I really appreciate it. And I love seeing you every weekend. Okay, sorry, because the greenhouse is so genius, and often very in tune with what I'm saying. I have to bring this up. The word is called inspiration, and I haven't used that word yet. And that's silly, because inspiration comes before creativity almost, in a way. And so that's a consideration that I think I need to go back and look at. Thanks, Eric. So in the greenhouse, sometimes it gets a little smoky in here, but it's nothing to be afraid of. You should breathe this air, because that's the name of this song by John Hopkins on the Polynation broadcast. It's Ground Zero Plus. Become a member, or listen for free until you become a member. It's inevitable. If you listen for free long enough, you want to become a member. I guarantee you that. That's funny. Canada's not on fire. It's just us opening the windows in the greenhouse. We're good. Don't worry about it. So, hey, maybe try this. The next time you want to tell somebody a crazy idea that you have, say, hey man, breathe this air. As if they have a choice what air to breathe. It'll make them stop and think about what you're saying. And now we're gonna take a taxi to Baltimore by the scientist. Polynation Broadcast. Ground Zero Plus. So while we're in this taxi to Baltimore, I thought I would tell you about a show that's coming up in a little over 6 hours from now here on the Ground Zero Plus network. It's the Chilluminati with Jimmy Jeans, Rockin' Rio. We're gonna be, once I get out of this taxi, gonna be listening to that show over here on the website groundzeroplus.com. If you become a member, you'll see me in the chat room slinging gifts with the rest of us polynationalists, having fun, taking the piss. No one gets offended because everybody knows nothing happens. And yes, Chilluminati, Miss B. Some of the best gifts you'll see in the greenhouse come from Miss B. That's Barb Annie. You'll see her once you get in here. Ground Zero Plus. Hey everybody, thanks for listening. And we'll see you a little later. I'm gonna eat some food and take a nap so I can be on my Sunday best for the Chilluminati. And I'll also be back tomorrow. Who knows, maybe the guest that I was gonna have, maybe she'll come on tomorrow. Maybe not. But it's definitely not gonna be that pilot, because that was it's just something I can't commit to, let's put it that way. The plants would suffer. You know what I mean? I gotta keep the perimeter secure. And pray over what I have, because you all are awesome, and I pray for all of my audience every day. It's been a great show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Polly G signing off. Polynation Broadcast, groundzeroplus.com. See you tomorrow and later. remember, if you can't be creative, you're not being creative enough. You are, and you always will be.